people, welcome back. Today's flow is going to be a very juicy flow for opening our heart, really filling ourselves with gratitude, sending love out into the universe. And apparently my dog Zuke might be featuring in this video today. He may not, I don't know. So for our practice today, you might need a couple of blocks or thick books, whatever you have around the house that you can use. So we're going to get started as we come to our comfortable seated position, drawing up tall, releasing the hands down to the knees. Taking that first big inhale, feeling the belly expand. Exhale, squeeze the belly towards the spine, rinsing out every inch of air. Feeling ourselves relaxing, feeling the energy in the body relax. Taking another breath in. Exhale as we release it all. Taking another inhale in. On our exhale, we're going to send our hands to our heart. So just placing one hand on top of the other. So we begin to feel the heart beating beneath the hands. Feeling that life force that keeps us pumping, keeps us going. As we take this moment to send ourselves some gratitude. Gratitude for coming to the practice today. Gratitude for all that we do for ourselves. Maybe we're beginning to send out some love into the world. Really beginning to fill ourselves up. Really releasing all that doesn't serve us so we can fill that cup up again. And on your next inhale, we're going to send the fingertips up above us. And your exhale, releasing the arms down to goal pose as we open the heart, pressing it forward. Taking a big inhale here. And our next exhale, we're going to swim our fingertips forward as we begin to round the spine, interlace the hands out in front of you. Inhale, send the fingertips out wide, coming to a T. On our exhale, bend the elbows, come back down, coming back into our goalpost arms. Inhale, reach those fingertips up. Exhale, releasing the hands down, take the feet out to the side. We come to our tabletop position. So grounding ourselves down here. We're going to bring our knees to touch. Big toes are going to come together. We're going to sink the hips back towards the heels. Beginning to release the arms down. Release the forehead down if it makes it. Coming into a child's pose. Taking 2 breaths. Feeling deep into our breath, deep into the heart. Really keeping the focus of the heart throughout the practice. On your next inhale, we're going to send ourselves out to that tabletop. Exhale, begin to bend the elbows in towards your side as you lower down to your belly. From here, sliding our fingertips out in front of us, we're going to lift up onto our forearms. So making sure we're bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders. Spread your fingers wide, coming into spirit fingers. Reaching the heart through the arms, making sure we're not crashing in the shoulders. Press the tops of the feet down into the mat, lifting the kneecaps as we come into Sphinx pose. Stretching into our front side body. Finding a little upper back bend. And on your next exhale, We begin to release ourselves back down to the mat. Slide the hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, we're going to press back up into our tabletop. Exhale, press into the hands, begin to round the spine. And inhale, send that belly down, crown of the head, tailbone reaches up, coming into our cow. Exhale, round into cat. We're going to do one more round. Inhale is going to bring us back down to that neutral tabletop. On our exhale, we're going to send ourselves up as we stand up on the knees. And then from here, if we want to use our blocks, we bring them into play. So we're just going to place the blocks on the outer edge of the feet, just so they're there in case we want them. So coming to stand on the knees, you can walk the legs in a little bit closer. Take a big inhale, send the fingertips up above you. Exhale, together we're all just going to take the hands to the low back, just a little warm up. Placing the hands on the low back. On your next inhale, pressing the hips forward. Exhale, we're going to send the gaze up towards the ceiling, so really drawing the front shoulder back. Take one more inhale. On your exhale, very gently bringing ourselves to center, sending the hips down. We release back down to a child's pose. We're going to take 2 breaths, relaxing that low back. And on your next exhale, roll it up the spine, come to stand back up on the knees. So we can go back to what we just did, or if we want to come into a more fuller version of our camel pose, we can do that. So listening to the body, making sure we're not taking it past its threshold. So inhale, sending the fingertips up above you. Exhale, once again, take the hands to the low back. Inhale, pressing the hips forward. Exhale, we take the gaze up. If this is where we go today, this is absolutely beautiful. And we want to take it back to the blocks. We begin to really, so squeezing the glutes, and we want to lean back from our quads. Take the hands to the top of the blocks. Can't find my blocks, that's not good. Pressing the hands to the blocks, reaching the heart forward. Or coming into the full version, if we have it in our practice, as we release the hands down to the heels. Whatever version we took, we take the hands to the low back, gently rolling up, send the hips back towards the heels, release the forehead down, 3 breaths, allowing that low back to relax. Maybe we kind of shimmy from side to side, bring a little motion. One more breath here. Inhale, we're going to roll it up into our tabletop position. On your exhale, you're going to take your right foot, stepping it forward, bringing that right knee over right ankle. Inhale, we're rising up into our low lunge. Send the fingertips up. Reach the tailbone down towards the mat. Really beginning to reach the hip bones up towards the shoulders. On our exhale, find a slight back bend. Inhale, we're going to come back up through the center. On our exhale, sending the fingertips back towards the hips. We're going to begin to straighten our right leg as much as we can, lifting the toes. Taking that heart forward. As we inhale here, hovering. Exhale, release the fingertips down to the mat, bowing over that right leg. Take one more inhale. On the exhale, we're beginning to bend the right knee, planting the foot, right knee over right ankle, lifting up on our fingertips, tugging our back toes as we lift that back leg. Sending the heart through the arms as we gaze forward in our runner's lunge. And from here, really beginning to squeeze the inner thighs together, activating our legs. Inhale, send your fingertips forward. And we're going to continue that trek up into our high lunge. On your next exhale, drop the arms to goalpost, opening the heart. Inhale, fingertips come back up. Exhale, releasing the hands down to the mat. We're going to step that right foot back into our downward facing dog. So sending the bum up towards the ceiling or whatever we're under, whether it's the sky, the ceiling. Really beginning to press into the hands to feel the core activating. Little soft bend into the knees. Take one more breath here. One more inhale. Exhale, release the knees back down to your tabletop. Inhale, we're going to send it down into our cow pose. Exhale, rounding into cat. Inhale, back to neutral tabletop. Exhale, left foot's going to step forward this time. Left knee over left ankle. Inhale, sending the fingertips up as we rise up. Exhale, slight back bend. Inhale, come back up to neutral. Take 2 more breaths. And on your next exhale, we're sending the fingertips back towards the hips, straightening that left leg, lifting the toes, reach the heart forward. On your exhale, we're bowing over the left leg, planting the fingertips, bringing as much of a bend into that knee as we need. And your next exhale, walk your hands forward, planting that left foot. Tuck the back toes as we lift that back leg, coming into our runner's lunge, gazing forward. Squeezing the inner thighs in towards each other. Inhale, we're rising up into our high lunge. Exhale, take it down to goal post. Inhale, extend the fingertips up. Exhale, send the fingertips down as we plant them, step it back, downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths here. Cultivating that strength in the shoulders. And on your next exhale, release the knees. Big toes coming to touch. Sink it back to child's pose. 3 breaths. Connecting back to the breath. Bringing the focus down into the heart once more. Exhale, we're just going to roll up the spine, sit back on the heels, and then you can take the feet out to the side. We're coming into our seated position. Beginning to extend the feet forward, so we're stretching the legs out in front of us. Draw the toes back towards your face. Extend the fingertips forward. Take a big inhale here. And exhale with as much control as we have. We roll it down to our back. And your inhale, send the fingertips past the ears. Find a full body stretch. Exhale, take the knees in towards the chest. Wrapping the arms around the legs. Give yourself a hug. And beginning to release the feet down to the mat. We want to bring our hands down towards our hips. Walk the shoulders underneath your back. Keeping that head up towards the ceiling. We're not moving the gaze. On our next exhale, pressing into the heels, we begin to lift the hips off of the mat, coming into our bridge pose. Keeping the knees in line with the hips. We're going to slide the hands underneath us. On your next exhale, you're going to roll it all the way down. So you're coming to sit on your hands, extending the legs out. And from here, we're going to begin to press into our forms. So if you need to walk your shoulders underneath your back here a little more, you can. We're going to press into the forearms as we lift the heart up. On our exhale, we're sending the gaze, sending the head down. Coming into our fish pose. Really opening the heart. On your next inhale, we're going to send the chin down towards the chest. Exhale, roll it all the way back down to your back. Sliding the fingertips out from underneath you. Slide the feet in towards your sit bones once more. We're going to take a big inhale, pressing into the feet. Shift the hips over towards the right. Exhale, beginning to release the knees over to the left. Bringing the arms to goalpost or to a T. If it's comfortable on the neck, we take the gaze over the right shoulder, beginning to twist the body out. I don't know about y'all, but supine twists are some of my favorite poses to do. Inhale, coming back through to center. Bring the hips back to the center of the mat. Exhale, we're going to shift the hips over to the left and release the knees over to the right. Gazing over the left shoulder if it's comfortable in the neck. Inhale, bring everything back to center. Exhale, take the hips back into the center of the mat. We're going to take one more big inhale, the biggest inhale you've taken all practice. Exhale, slide the feet down the mat. Taking the hands down towards the hips, shoulders underneath the back. Allowing everything to release. Release and let go, allowing the mat to support you. And we can stay here in our Shavasana. We can find a meditative position as we meditate. And I thank you always for coming to practice with me as the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.